Hello, Utah virtual friends. My name is Julie Morales, and I teach 5th grade math. I'm honored that you wanted to come hang out with me for a few minutes today. Thank goodness it's Friday. We made it through another week. And so I was asked to share how I formed my small groups. This last go around, I decided that my study island checkpoint may have been on the easier side, and so I didn't want to just use that as my only indicator for kids who might need some extra support. So I decided to use a couple of other sources to get some data from. So I was just going to show you how I pulled that data, how I organized it, and then see if maybe that would be something you're interested in for our next round of small groups. So the first thing that I used was our study island checkpoint, and you can see down here I've got my data. I pulled my kids, I sorted them like we were asked to at our last PD. We decided what percentage worked for our group depending on how many kids scored below a point that we thought was enough kids to invite, not too many. I also pulled my data from the online school. So I pulled up the Unit 1 checkpoint for math and also the Unit 2 checkpoint. And I just went through each one and I made a list of the kids who did not master those checkpoints, because that's a good indicator that they didn't really understand the whole unit, and so they could most likely use some extra support from those different topics of those two units. Then I used our handy MTSS tracker, and I organized my lists here. So I have all my kids. Here were my checkpoint. Here's my checkpoint data here. And these were kids. We also included the not tested kids, because if they didn't test, then they're going to be invited to the small group. So I've got my Unit 1 checkpoint, all my kids who didn't pass that. Then I lined up my kids who didn't pass the checkpoint, and I also included the kids who had not taken that second checkpoint, because according to the pacing guide, they should have been there with me, so all of those kids were behind the expected progress. Then I made a list of SPED students because they are getting Tier 3 support from their teachers, and so I got all these organized, and then I looked through the list and I decided, okay, if the student's on one list, maybe I could invite them, but for sure if they're on 2 or more lists, definitely they need to be invited. So once I went through those 3 different lists of data, that's how I came up with my final small group list of kids. And I wanted it to be a number that wasn't too huge. I think I ended up inviting about 40, and then I've consistently had about 20 to 25 coming from that list, which is great. And then I'm just reaching out to those who are not coming. But I feel like it went well. I feel like it, because I use those different sources, that most of those kids, those were good indicators that most of them did need the extra support. Then I made sure to send out some positive messaging just to the kids. So I said, thank you for completing your math test in Study Island. Based on that test score and the online school unit checkpoint scores, you have been invited to our next round of small group math classes. We'll be covering the online school and Study Island checkpoint topics at a slower pace with fewer students in the class. Watch for these links on your daily plan starting October 25th. Small math groups will be held Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 2 o'clock every week. Invitations to these small groups may change as we reassess throughout the year. Can't wait to see you there. So I wanted to mention that at the end, because on our next round, I kind of want to do the same thing. I want to take that second checkpoint and then maybe 1 or 2 unit checkpoints from the online school of where we have been working in our live classes, just to see who's getting it, who needs some extra support. And then what you can do is then that gives you information to work with for your lessons. So I saved a copy of my Study Island checkpoint, and each class I take 1 or 2 of those questions. We go through them together. Students can work them out on the board, and then I can also use the online school checkpoints. There's the questions, they're all done. I can go however fast or slow I want in those groups, and that's where your creativity comes into place, where you can put them in breakout rooms, you can have them work together in groups, whatever you want to do, but at least now you have something to drive that instruction, because you know they did not pass all 3 of these, so then that gives me more to pull from when I am creating my classes. So I hope that gives you maybe a tip or a trick for next time. You may have different sources to pull from, but I just found it pretty beneficial to pull from more than one source after our year has gotten into the swing of things and kids are working, and we can kind of see who needs extra support and who's got it down. So I hope you have an awesome weekend, and I will see you guys soon. Have a great day.